Yeah, now go, man.
Hey, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Cats Out the Bag. Today, I have my friend Lauren with me, and I have Jugg with me, and we're gonna get into a little bit of what it's like to be incarcerated and to be in love with someone that's incarcerated. Um, I feel like it's a topic that not a lot of people talk about. Um, there's a lot of different things that go into it. And if you're not in that lifestyle or if you don't know someone that is, then you probably have a lot of questions. If you're only knowing what's going on from Love After Lockup, then
Right.
you
Love after lockup.
it might be a little sugar coated.
It's portrayed a little bit differently.
Yeah. So like we're gonna get into it,
Love
but
after lockup.
first things first, introduce yourself.
I'm Lauren, and my husband has been incarcerated for the past almost 5 years now. That's my intro.
Okay, that's a fucking intro. What about you?
First things first, I'll pop a free salt. Now let me stop. My name is Jugg, and I'm here on the Cats Out the Bag show, brand after rolling property. Here we are.
Not on their
Well,
property.
No, I'm saying like I'm property of burn after rolling. Well, all right, jail, state property. You feel me? You talk about being state property, now I'm free and I'm property of burn after rolling.
You're the property yourself now. You're on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Let's dive right in. When you were on the inside, we're talking prison. Prison and jail are two different things.
Right.
Yeah.
So explain to the people the difference between prison and jail, because I feel like when
Whose
people
perspective do you want first?
his, I'm gonna ask
Okay.
him, and then we'll go to you because I feel like whenever someone says someone's locked up, they'll be like, "Oh, they're in jail," but they
Right.
don't know that prison is a completely different thing.
Right.
So go ahead.
Prison, all right, so I'm trying to make it short. Jail is kind of like a taste of it, and then like prison is more so longevity. So even if you're coming through, you're gonna be there with people that's like they've been there for a while, like they're used to this. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to jail, any county jail, you can only stay there but for so long. And then just being far, like prison, New York State, we talking. New York State prison is like if you from Buffalo or you in a whole nother prison that takes 4 or 5 hours, like it's I don't know, it's a whole nother world. If you're from Long Island, the city, I know my little trip. I went from Ulster, and I took a nap, and when I woke up, it was snow. And then when I got to the prison I was supposed to be in, it was a whole snow, like real storm. But when I started the journey and I got on the bus, it was a regular old day.
So it was a little too stretched just to get up to the prison.
So I went from the jail, Nassau County, to the prison, which is closer to the city. Then I moved to a prison like 8-9 hours away. And then that's where, like, I was there for a short little time, but you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother world. That's prison. Like, you're in that world. You got time to do. You're in that demographic. That's what all you know before you come all the way back here to the world. As opposed to jail, where it's like you're gonna talk to people from the county. If you're in Suffolk County and Yaphank Riverhead, you're gonna see people from your town. You're gonna see people that you know. If you're going town to town, you're hanging out with people or whatever, you mix and mingling with other towns, it's not that serious. As opposed to prison, there's going to be people from Rochester. You're going to be like, what the fuck is a Rochester?
Right.
One of the biggest cities in New York, but I'm used to New York City. I'm over here like, bro, I don't care about no Rochester. Then the more people I talk to, it's like, oh, shit, Rochester might be a cool place. Buffalo, shit, that's what I'm saying. So that's the difference between prison and jail. And like I said, the longevity, like, there's people. I'm born 1993. I met people, not too many, but I ran across a couple people that have been in there since 1993.
That's wild.
You're not gonna run in that. There's never gonna happen in the county. It's impossible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
is
if you're
impossible.
going to prison, you know you're going for a hot minute.
not
Prison's
necessarily.
Over what? I think it's like 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Then you go upstate.
Yeah.
And then county is only till like 1 and 1.5 years. So you're just doing a little bit.
Okay.
And county, personally, I feel like is a daycare compared to upstate. Upstate is where the big boys are at. You're with people who are in for rape. You're in for murder. 2 bodies, 3 bodies, caught another body while they're in the state. You're in with real
Shooters.
Yeah,
Shooters.
basically,
Nah,
yeah.
but this what I say with the difference between prison and jail, because now, person like me, I wasn't there for long. Believe it or not, y'all all was locked up while I was locked up. It was just y'all was free. I was locked up on February 19th. RP with my guys, but on February 19th, I went on my JPay. Remember, she was like sending it. I was receiving it, no free. So like, I went on my JPay and I looked and it was like, yo, this person passed away. Yo, Pop Smoke passed away. Like, oh shit. Then I went and watched the news. Like, the first case of COVID. Like, just imagine, I'm not worried about no freaking first case of nothing. We brush it off. It's like,
But
all right, it's
speaking
the
of
flow.
that, my husband will call me and tell me things. Like, he's like, oh, yo, you heard Takeoff died? I'm like, oh, I didn't hear that. How the fuck did you hear that before me? It's crazy. Like, they'll hear shit in the jail before people on the streets even hear it.
Yeah, facts.
So,
Well,
like,
you
the
have
jails
to-
talk. And also, like,
Exactly.
jail to jail talks to each other. So, if somebody gets, like, somebody gets hit in one jail, the whole other jail hears about it.
Know about it.
Like, everybody, it's all together. Even though you could be, like, 9 hours apart, you still hear what happens in Clinton, even though you're in Sing Sing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Where were you?
I was in, well, that's what I was about to put you on, Kat. I was in Watertown, so now she's right though. You do get to meet those people, but like I said, I was incarcerated for the pandemic, like that ass.
You
So-
were there
Where is
since the start of
Watertown?
COVID.
Huh?
You were there since the start of COVID. How
COVID
was,
affect
how
my
was
prison
that?
bid. That's what I'm saying. My prison bid was different because of COVID. Like COVID helped my whole. Like COVID was a plus. Like
Were they more lenient? You think?
for me, yeah, I was chilling. I did 18 months, 6 months out here, and 12 months upstate. But I spent 6 months chilling. Like your idea of chilling, like Cat's idea of chilling, like slides. I didn't even leave the crib. I was chilling, watching Mad HGTV, Sports Center. The CEOs is mad as fuck because they're like, bro, why are you chilling? Like, why are you in slides and shorts all day? Why didn't you go to Meso? Do something. Like, what the fuck? For the
Were
first
you
6
guys
months.
on quarantine lockdown in the
That's
prison
why,
in the
because-
jails? Because I know they said like it was really bad.
they
That's
have
what-
certain
COVID.
blocks. Like, I know in upstate, they have certain blocks. Like, they would move people out of a certain block to put all COVID people.
That's
And my
gotta be
husband still tells
horrible.
me, I think they test them, like, not weekly now. They used to test them weekly. But I think it's, like, every couple weeks. they'll
Because
still
one
run
CEO
down.
brings it in, the whole fucking jail's fucked.
Right.
I mean,
and then
like,
they had
see-
the nerve to shut down visiting. Let me touch on that. They had the nerve to shut down visiting, saying that the visitors are bringing it in. But when I tell you it was a table like this, which is probably like 6 feet or more, my husband is sitting on that end and I'm sitting on this end. So how am I possibly giving him
And you have to
COVID?
wear a mask.
And I have to wear a mask, and I'm the only one can walk up to the vending machine. He can't get up; he has to stay in his seat. But you're penalizing the visitors for coming, basically. And we have to sit this far apart, and it's really the CEOs bringing it in, and they're allowed to be all up in the inmates' faces and doing whatever they would
That's
like.
why I said for me it was unique because I was IOC rep. Like if she talks to her husband and says that, it'd be like, all right. I was IOC rep. That's basically like class president. You dig? I was
Class
nah, where's my
president in
mother?
jail.
Not the
Class
president.
president. Yeah, I was the class president of my.
What program?
I was in ASAP. I was in H2. I was in ASAP, but I was really class president. I was the IOC rep at H2. But I literally watched, forget the town, like I watched how COVID could be spread. And I got vaccinated because of shit like this. And like the thought of like, damn, because I firsthand seen Mr. Williams, shout out to Mr. Williams, faggot ass. He's only a faggot because he's a cop, but he's mad cool, but he's got to be a faggot because he's a CEO. But like, you chose that career, but he's mad like, that's a cool ass, because you got to figure, I'm in there with a lot of like, they're all like farmer, racist kind of people. So to meet a person who's like down to earth, that's not judging me off my color and really just talking to me as a human being and not like you freaking stupid ass inmate was cool. But he ended up being a stupid one because my boy, who was like, is the CEO's desk, and then his cube is like directly across. We go to the thing with the superintendent, all the higher ups in the jail, the meeting. They're like, yo, the COVID thing is spreading. Be safe. If you got people in your house that feel under the weather, let them know. So I go back and I'm like, bro, you've been sick. You've been all under the weather. Go get tested. Boom, he tests positive. 14-day quarantine. He comes back. But the 14 days that he was gone, me, my buddy, Mr. Williams, I used to, yeah, what's up? I don't say hi to the cops. Mr. Williams would get a head nod, for real. So I noticed, like, damn, Mr. Williams ain't been here for a little minute. He pops up like 17 days later, like, yeah, I caught the vid. Motherfucker, you brought that shit in. You're the reason why this whole. But this is not no, like, you got to figure we're in jail. We're, like, not in the town. So as it's bugging out of town, we're in a secluded place, you feel me? So it's not like, oh, my boy 40 shot out to 40. It's not like, oh, 40 caught it, and then now everybody's like, oh, shit, we got to test everybody. It's mandatory testing everybody. We got to separate people. And I literally was in the midst of that. Luckily, I didn't, because now it's even weird because we in jail. So let's say it's 3 cubes. Boom, boom, boom. And the middle person tests positive. All 3 people, yo, that shit sucked. All 3 people are going down. You got one person going to the tested positive quarantine, and you got the other 2 people going to they were just around people quarantine. And like I said, luckily I didn't catch it in there. It wasn't, but that's why I said my jail experience was crazy because I watched that COVID shit from a different, like, I go and watch the news and Good Morning America for the first time in my life ever. The only time in my life, Times Square is empty. Like, I've been to Times Square a couple times I've been home. I bought my laptop from Times Square, from the T-Mobile in Times Square. Nah. Like, I'm in there like, what? Yo, for a good, that whole 12 months, maybe, yeah, the whole 12 months, every time I watched Good Morning America, Times Square was empty. And then when it got a little bit like the cars started, but it was never, that whole year, Times Square did not look like what I know Times Square to be. And that shit was crazy. Like, then I came home and I got back into it. So me personally, my bid was a bid, but it's a little bit unique to other people because, like I said, I spent.
It was, yeah, during COVID, it's a little
COVID was
different.
kind of hard in my situation, only because I do have a daughter. COVID hit maybe, well, first I visited my husband maybe like March 6th or March 8th. My daughter's birthday is March 8th.
Okay, Pisces, let's get it.
March 10th or 12th, I want to say, is when we got the notification or when it came up on the doc's website saying that visitation is suspended.
Damn, yo, that's
You're
crazy.
suspending visitation.
And how long did they suspend it for?
I want to say until about August.
So you weren't able to see him in person.
But I'm not good. That's why I said that's crazy because you see how I say that COVID benefited me. Basically, jail just stopped. Only thing it was to do was just watch the inmates.
Right, so they didn't have program. They didn't have
Yeah, that's
anything.
why I was
Like,
able
so
to chill.
everybody was really like not in their cells all day because you get to go out to the yard and all that stuff. But it really stopped people from, I guess, progressing. I guess you could take it how you want it. Like, okay, you were chilling. Good shit.
Nah,
But
that
like
for
was
someone
good.
else, they could be
it
going
affected
crazy.
him because he's in a program which affects him getting out of prison.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
I was in the same, like, I'm just blessed. I was in the same exact boat. It's just, boom. I did the 12 months. I needed to do ASAT, which is a 6 months program. So the first 6 months I was chilling, and then my board was in December. So I started the program in
That was a
July.
violent program?
Nah, it's a non-violent program. That's why my shit was
Non-violent.
sweet. So this is why the whole bid went perfect. So now I spent 6 months in slides, living like I'm in the town, but I'm in jail. But I'm not really mad because everybody in the town is literally bored out of their mind, bothering me. You're bothering them. I'm calling them and they're like, yo, I was waiting for you to call. What the fuck you mean? Like, you're not doing shit, ain't
Right,
nothing to
you're
do.
sitting at home, you're
So
not
that
at
was
work.
kind of that's why I said chilling. That was kind of cool because it's not they're not answering. I'm my JPs, my shit is busting because nobody doing nothing in the town. Then I get accepted. They open it up a little bit. I get accepted to the ASAP program that I need to get in. I go into that crib. I'm chilling in that crib. COVID goes up a little bit, but I'm in the program. So you need 6 months. I was technically a month short because a month they cut off, but I got credit when I went to the board because they knew, like, I bet. Then the icing on the cake, 90 days to your earliest release date. Because of COVID, you're gone. I'm not going front. Only saved me like 10 days, but shit, a day, what?
Any day counts.
Any day
Yeah.
counts,
Any day,
you feel me?
any
Like,
hour, any minute.
yeah, you
Get
feel
out
me?
of
Like,
there.
literally, like the date that I was looking forward to the whole time, like, I can't wait to this day, was cut short by a couple of days, which
Right.
is like, it's still clutch, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can't just knock COVID, like, and be like, nah, that shit affected my whole bid, because now I know from my homies from before I went upstate and what homies are dealing with now, I know COVID, because that shit could have, like she said, that could have hindered me. In reality, I could have not gone to ASAT until August, September, and I gotta go to my board in
And then
December.
you still have to do another
And
six
Yeah.
months.
you gotta complete that
Right.
to go home. Like, there's
Right.
not, like, you feel me? So if that didn't work out, COVID could actually fuck me, but it didn't. So
What do you think the hardest thing, being that you're on the outside and he's in there, is for you in terms of raising your kid? Because how many years did he get with her?
On the outside?
Yeah.
None. So everybody acts like, even when like we're on the dance floor, people ask like, "Is that your kid?" Like not directly because people be getting tight.
Hold on,
like,
I gotta cut you off real quick. People don't know. People don't know the lingo. Like I always shout him out
because the dance floor is a visiting
people like
floor.
BT don't know what the
People
dance
who
floor is, man.
Do not know what it is. The dance floor is called a visiting floor. But people will be like, "Is that your kid?" Because my husband has he has an 18 number, and my daughter's born in 19, so they don't understand it when they say her age because she's only 3.5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard because I had to go through a lot by myself, but it also made me who I am today, and I'm very strong by it.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying like I do need my husband in my life. I love him with all my heart, but I know that I'm strong, and if I was able to get through this, I could get through anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had to gone through surgeries. I've had to have my daughter by myself. I had to be hospitalized, and like him only hearing it when like I'm getting discharged from the hospital. He's like, "Wait, why are you in the hospital?" Because I can't communicate with him that easily, and that's also one thing that kind of messes with my relationship is the communication.
Yeah.
Because for instance, last week I was on your podcast or the week before, and he kind of got a little mad because I was on the podcast, but it's not like I could pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, babe, I'm going on Katie's podcast."
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard, really. The main thing I want to say is communication.
Yeah. And there is better ways, like we were talking about, the app you use.
JPay.
What can you do with that?
You could send money because, they love money. You could send videos and you could send pictures. The only thing with the videos is you can't send pre-recorded videos, if that makes sense. So you can't just go in your camera roll and click, "Hey, I want to send this video." You have to you have to press record and just record the video all at once. So if I want to send a pre-recorded video of, say, like my daughter seeing Santa, for example, I would have to pull it up on like my computer and record it on there. So I don't know.
Nah,
but I'm not gonna lie though. This is weird, but like that's like content creating for me. When I send the JPay videos, I send my homies now that I know what it is receiving them and why it gotta be like live. I send like in the moment shit like.
You have to
real live, like, nigga, this was going on right now because
it kind of sucks because if you don't have service, it's like, damn, now I have to screen record this video and then try to find a way to resend it, and
it's a little bit different because you got your husband who you want to share memories with and your daughter that you're raising with. So, like with me, I'm not gonna front. They miss it like for me. But I could imagine from my baby mom that she had to catch pictures, but she got it done though.
How was it when you were in there for her? How old was your child?
My daughter was 2.
How was your relationship with her when you
daughter?
first got in? Well, no, both. But
baby
touch
mother,
more, on your baby mother.
I mean, that's my baby mom. That's my son for life. But like all that relationship, like.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like you were saying on one of the other podcasts with Damu that you could tell the difference between like a female if they're with you when you're in jail. And if they're
that's
with
what
you
I say.
in
With
prison.
me, that's what I say. Like with me though, me and my baby moms is locked in on some life shit. So like a lot of like the other stuff that relationship people would deal with, we kind of past that, like the cheating and all that. It's like I don't want to say it's irrelevant. I don't know. You got to talk to her and get the point. But it's like at the end of the day, she held it down the best she could, and I'm the boss. I'm the leader. I held it down like a boss do, even though I was in jail.
What were some things you guys would like argue about from being on your side?
Ain't no arguing. I'm argue about. I'm wavy.
No? Like if she went out, for example, like when me and my husband, if I would go out like last week for Katie's podcast for Cats Out the Bag, I was on the podcast and he got a little upset that I didn't let him know. But it was last minute, so he needs to understand
granted, like that's your husband, so I can't really speak. That's my baby mom. I love her to death. All the other girls I fuck with know what's up. That's just that. But as far as me, even if that was my wife, as far as me on the jail phone controlling, I'm in jail. Like my baby mom can vouch. There was never an arguing. Like nah. And I'm an arguing ass nigga.
Did you ever feel like you needed to, like, I know, I can only imagine as a man, like your husband, he probably feels a type of way if his wife is on the outside. For how many years he's in there,
That's what
he's
I'm saying.
probably thinking like, what the fuck is going on out there? Who's she fucking with? And
Right.
all this
Part
stuff.
of the reason
You have to
why-
have a really good bond to be able to know,
Yeah,
like,
that's what
out
I'm
of sight,
saying.
out of mind.
Yeah,
right,
that's
but
different.
then again, you're surrounded by other men and other inmates who girls are cheating on them and
Yeah.
going out and partying and being with the next man at the end of the night. So I feel like that has something to do with
Yeah.
my relationship,
course.
even though I have to just tell him all the time, like, listen, I'm here for you. Like, I haven't done a damn thing in 5 years. 5 years.
Shout out to you.
And sometimes he's like, oh, who are you with tonight? Why didn't you answer
Yo,
your
but see,
phone?
that's
But
why
like
I'm a
I'm
sick fuck,
genuinely
'cause-
sleeping because I work my ass off. I
You
work
do.
hard
I'ma
for
tell
what
you,
I do.
yo, no disrespect. I'ma tell you, go fuck. Word to my mother. I'm in jail 5 years. I'ma tell you, like, yo, bro, real life shit. After I read, if I got a wife, shout out to my baby mama. I ain't really have to, like, we got a
Make her
real
your
relationship.
wife.
What?
Maybe she's my wife without the ring. I don't think I'm gonna ever get married. So if there was a wife, it'd
It's
be
a
the
lot
person.
though. It's a lot though.
Yeah, nah,
on
I ain't
the
gonna front.
outside.
She get the husband benefits, but like I don't think we ever gonna get married. That's a dub. But
Okay.
That's not okay that's not good for her though. What if she wants to
Is
get
she
married?
fine with that?
we not that. That's not this type of party. I should call her right now. Ask her. She gonna probably. Y'all gonna see. She probably gonna hang up and suck her teeth.
Yeah, she probably
She's
will.
over here
I'm gonna
texting me,
suck
calling
my
me a
teeth
weirdo and
too.
shit. But it's different. It's bigger. Like that's what I'm saying. With me, my mind is different. That's why I'm.
How would you feel if she got married? Not to bring her into this because this has
Nah,
nothing
shout out
do
to
with
her. She gonna watch the shit. We gonna send the shit to her. If she got married, I don't know. We gonna have to cross that bridge. I'm not
Well,
gonna.
no,
hold
you would have to be supportive of her if you don't want to get married. What if
Yo,
she
my
wants that something for
motherfucking
herself?
mother, my mother, the coochie I came out of, she got remarried. I ain't support it, and I'm standing on it right now. It's on public.
How old were you?
Nigga, this was 2018, 2017.
But
So
why
you're a
didn't
grown
you
man.
support it? Is there like a
'Cause
logical
Lloyd-
Yeah, is there more to
reason,
it?
Cause
or-
yeah, loyalty is royalty. Shout out to my mom. She
Are you
took,
Jamaican?
No, I'm African.
Okay.
But she crossed my pops. You feel me? Now that I'm
Oh,
older, I know
well,
the
did she
real
cheat on
story.
him?
Yeah, she.
Oh,
yo,
that's
she's
a
the reason.
different story.
Yes, I'm
That-
bugged out.
that's
She the reason why I
different.
smoke weed and
Different
shit.
story.
But fuck her. It's about Juggalea's mother. You feel me?
What else did she do?
I mean, if you want me, I don't want to make it about that. But if you want me to go to the story, I'll go to
We're
the story.
not going into the story.
All
We'll
right.
save that for another night.
Yeah, we gonna talk
Damn,
about the
Mama,
jail
you
shit.
fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked up,
Damn.
man.
Fucked up the whole
Anyway,
fam.
so like I'm saying, word, fuck me up. Not even the whole
Back
fam.
to prison.
Word, back to prison. Anyway, like I'm saying, me personally, in real life, once I read Gabrielle Union's book in my cube, that ass, and she's talking about, like, yo, talking to other females. I'm just reading this book because she's fired, but she's telling other females, like, yo, when you break up, don't sit
Wait,
there and
pause.
cry. Hold on, let me finish the story, man. What happened? Ask,
You're
what
only
happened?
reading her book because she's fired?
I mean, that's what made me.
It's not a
that's what-
catchy
Did
title.
somebody send you the book, or you've got it?
Nah, I
from
got
somebody
out the
else?
library. I'm in the library. I
Okay.
see Gabrielle Union like, oh my God, chocolate. Gotta go bring this to the crib.
You was
Oh,
beating your dick to
chocolate.
that?
No. I mean, you got BBOs and shit like that for that. You feel me? Shout
Did you
out
have
to
the
Aaliyah D.
magazines?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Couple bricks for the magazines. That's nothing.
Yeah,
That's
the
word.
bricks. Okay, for people
Sticky
who do
ass
not know,
pages.
bricks are pouches of tobacco.
Oh yeah, yes,
Just
get
to make it clear.
Yeah, you feel me? Tobacco and coffee is king in there.
I'd love to smoke a rolled up cigarette right now.
Yo, every time I'm in a smoke shop and I see that shit, I'll be like, yo, what the fuck, man? I know them shits
The
ain't
top
sound like.
tobacco.
I'm ready to get high,
Word with
baby.
the yeah,
I'm
I'm
back
not
on
gonna
the
front.
block.
Hold on, hold this thought. You on Tommy. I'm gonna ask because we're gonna talk about the deuce. But me,
We're
let's say
deucing it.
let's say I'm in the jail and I say I'm in the cube and I read that book, right? And I get and then I read that she says, yo, for females, after you get in a breakup, like don't sit there and eat cookies and be all sad. Go have sex. Go out, enjoy it. Live your life. Don't be. I'm like, word, girls have sex. Like, you feel me? So if I read that and I go on the phone with my wife, I'm not gonna be like, yo, go have sex. I don't care about you. But like,
But you're getting a different perspective.
yeah, I'm not gonna be pressing you.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be
okay.
like, go on. That's kind of like
You're not gonna put
disrespectful.
extra pressure on her.
But yeah, I'm not gonna be like. Then I'm gonna like leave it there where it's like there where let's be real. Like, bro, you gotta relieve your stress. Like, sex is a stress reliever. Like, you feel me? Now, like I said, it's gonna be weird to like encourage you to like because I was like who. But if you tell me like this is in this situation, not in a regular relationship. If you end up telling me, because my day literally ends at 10:30, 11. Like, I might still be
Right.
up.
I think like the phone shuts off. I mean, it might be different for everything, but like my husband's is like 10:30, latest 10:45.
You feel me? Now, in real life, not just the nightlife, I used to tell bros, not just the nightlife, but life goes on. Like, just because we in here, like, we up right now. It used to be 4 in the morning, we up. Like, we up right now, vibing, chatting, but like, nigga, ain't no telling what your shorty doing, bro. Good, bad, ugly.
Right.
So you being up, bothers me about the shit fucking up the cipher is OD, bro.
But
like,
were you comfortable, like, I guess in the perspective of you being incarcerated, were you comfortable thinking, okay, like if my wife is out, well, not my wife, but my baby mother's out, are you okay with it? Or you're like, nah, she's not doing it. Or
nah, I
you're
mean,
like,
she fake had a nigga that she was. That's what I'm saying. Our
Was she
relationship,
honest with you about it though?
That's my bitch. Like, the whole world, everybody watching this know what's up. She telling me on the
She told
JPay app.
you?
I knew before. Like, this is just like lingering.
And
but
what did you go to? Did you talk to any other females
Nah,
while you were in there? Or
well,
no,
I'm that
like,
nigga. The females want to talk to me. You feel
Oh,
me? They're like, yo,
okay.
Alright.
Jigga your eye. But besides
Everybody
that,
had your JPay.
Alright.
word, they ever see new names popped
Just
up
need
like, oh
that VIN
shit.
number.
Exactly. People hitting up my boys with but besides that though, that's what's making me grateful. Like, damn, my son is really adding me. Like, she got mad Facebook. Like, she's a weirdo. Like, if she's locked out, she just make another one. On the JPay, her name is on that shit 6 times. Like, damn, when she gets locked out, she's making it her business. I don't know. Maybe she got other niggas she had to add. But I know I got them pictures of my daughter when I needed them. I know I got the pictures of her when, I mean, which is clutch. You feel what I'm trying to say? Why not? You in jail. That
Right.
shit
We
is
do.
fat.
Can we touch on the free prints?
What's that?
You don't know what free print is?
What that is?
Free print, instead of sending it through the tablet, because you know it goes to the facility and they have to approve
Oh,
it.
no. I wasn't there. I ain't gonna
Free-
front. I wasn't there that long. I wasn't that lit.
No.
I wish.
Okay.
And you gotta figure too. That's for like the dudes that's really doing time. You feel me? I was in the medium. I was in and out. You feel me? I was good with my BBOs and my gyros.
Oh, so you were never in a max?
Nah,
Okay.
I'm not. That's
My
why I be telling
husband
them I
was
got a
in
taste.
Sing Sing for about 3.5 years,
And now he's in the medium.
and now he's in a medium.
How much time you got like in general? I mean, he about to
So
come
he
home.
got into a program. I don't know if you know what it is, but it's a program for like sign language.
Nah,
And
no.
it's supposedly supposed to cut time out. I looked it up. I forgot the exact name of it, but supposedly it's supposed to be like 17 months. And then you're out after that.
Oh shit. Okay.
So-
What are you doing it?
Hmm?
What are you doing it?
You basically just learn sign language, and I guess you help other inmates like out who are blind
Mm-hmm.
or
Deaf?
or whatever.
Not blind.
That's one thing with prison where
But I see people directing other people to the dance floor, like who are like blind and
Yeah.
deaf. Like they'll have an escort, and
yeah, there's a lot of
it could
jobs.
help them at the end of the
where-
day
Yeah.
because my mother-in-law was a manager for people with developmental disabilities, and coincidentally, me and my husband were dating for maybe like 3 years. We're in the car one day, I remember it clear as day, and he's like, oh yeah, brought up his mom like working at a group home, being the manager basically. And when you're a manager at a group home, you're very well connected to the families. So I said, oh, like what group home? And he said Southampton, and I'm like, oh, Southampton. My aunt lives one of the group homes. I mentioned my aunt's name, and he turned to me. He's like, your aunt? That's your aunt? And I'm like, yeah. So long story short, like his mom knows my grandmother, my mom, my aunts,
wow.
everybody, coincidentally. So I guess it kind of benefits him in that way because my husband is a really good man, despite anything that anybody has to say about him. I know who he is, and I know you were gonna touch on like why I'm like still with him through everything, and I've always seen my husband's full potential.
Yeah.
No matter the dirt he's done to me, the dirt he's done to anybody else, I know his full potential, and I know what people say he is. Like, he's really not. He has the kindest heart, and he's the best dad and the best husband.
Do you feel like he appreciates you for that? Like, even though you guys went through all you went through before,
I think
went
he
in?
does, but sometimes I have to remind him, like, listen, like, we went through this, and this, and I'm still here. So why would I go out and, like, fuck the next man?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how would that benefit me? It's not going to benefit me in any way. Like, just
Nah,
for,
but like you said, when you're surrounded by that and you're thinking, if you got a thought
Exactly,
in your
that's
mind and you
why
got other people,
everybody's
it's
like,
Yeah.
oh, your husband's bugging. But I'm like, I understand it because that's all he's surrounded by. He's surrounded by other men whose girls, like, go out and cheat on them and have to deal with that. And so, like, hearing the stories, because all you have is to talk to each other, really. Whenever you're not on the phone, you're talking to each other, and that's all
why
you
my point of view
hear.
that I was breaking. My point of view is my point of view because I'm Jugg. Like me, like I said, me and her got a whole different. Like that's my son, but you're definitely right. I seen that with a lot of people. People passing the phone like, "Yo, she going crazy. Give her some advice." Like, what you want me to tell your girl? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's like, even like if like men are like yelling in the background when my husband's on the phone, I'm like, yo, tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Because that's wild disrespectful. My husband be like, yo, my wife tells you shut the fuck up. You're being wild disrespectful. Because it's a fact. It's a matter of respect. And like, I remember I watched the last podcast with you about the phone situation, paying that $200 to get on the phone or sending that cash app. It's a lot of things that happens. Like, my husband's like I'll argue with my husband and be like, you know what? I'm hanging up. I gotta go. Because I'll get to that point, because at this point, like, it's 5 years and like I'm getting a little fed up. Not saying I'm ever leaving my husband, but like I'm just mentally and emotionally drained from it.
And I'm not gonna lie, like with me, that's why I said, even though that aspect that I just spoke on was my big mom, that aspect was everybody. Like I ain't really asked people to sell. You said like people love money. I wasn't a nigga on some send this. I had a
But you
recurring
realize
balance.
who's really there for you? Like, you think like people are
But if
joking,
you-
like when like Meek Mill or whoever else raps in their songs, like you really
who's
realize
there.
who is down for you once you're locked up. Because even situations with me, like I'll hit somebody up and be like, hey, I'm really hurting for money. Like, they know my situation. Can I borrow like this much money? Oh, no, I don't have it right now. Okay, so you're not my husband's real friend.
Yeah.
Because if I hit up my husband's best friend, Malcolm, shout out to Malcolm. We love Malcolm. I hit him up. I'm like, yo, like, I was in Sesame. And something got, like, deducted from my account. So I literally only had, like, $50 in my account. And I hit up Malcolm. I was like, yo, like, I need, like, $500 right now. Where am I sending it to? Like, what am I doing with it? And, like, forever grateful for it. But, like, you really realize who your true friends are and your true family is when you are locked up. And that's no joke. Because my husband even said, like, my husband's one of the type of people that he comes home and say, like, you didn't do anything for him. But, like, you want to come over and make your amends or whatever. I'm the one that steps in. The minute you knock on my door, it's get the fuck out of here. What did you do for my husband when he was locked up?
I ain't
Goodbye.
gonna front. Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm that type of person. My husband, he's kind of like that. He'd be like, yo, you weren't jacking me when I was locked up. You didn't send me shit. Goodbye. It's not about sending anybody it's not about sending anybody anything. But it's a matter of that one simple JPay. You put $5 on the account. That's all you have to do. And just
But
be
I
like,
ain't
hey,
gonna
how
front.
are
Do
you?
you know that shit hard? Like I ain't gonna front. I'm on the outs. That shit hard. You feel me? So for you already know. That's why you get your kudos because you're doing it and you're dedicated to it.
Like that 200. Like today, I had to send a $50 cash app. Yesterday, I had to send a $50 cash app. The day before that, I had to send a $200 cash app.
So I ain't,
Because
that's what
I'm not
saying.
gonna let my man hurt, and I'm also not gonna let him get hurt.
Yeah.
I've sent money for my husband to get a button pushed on somebody. I know what that shit's like. And if you know what a button push means, then you know what it means. But I'm not gonna explain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's real shit. And at first I'm like, what am I sending the money for? And then I get it explained to me, and I'm like, I guess. I mean, if it's life or death, all right. I'm sending 200. I'm sending 1,000. I'm sending whatever I need to send. So.
But that's what I'm saying. But now once you get out there, like me, there's a lot of people that wasn't on the JPay, but they came through and they I mean, did
But
real
how
nigga
far
shit.
are you? Like, where are you from? What town?
What's bad, Bondage? What's bad?
So how far was the jail from, like, West Bath, for example?
Oh no, but like I said, COVID, so I didn't expect no visit. I'm a down to earth. I'm
Well, how far? How
optimistic.
many hours is it?
Probably like 9 hours, 8 hours.
It's up like by like Clinton.
Like Watertown, that's by like Ogdensburg. That's going Watertown, Ogdensburg.
That's like near
Riverview.
like where my husband
the first time
had an
the
the first incident that my husband got into was in Potsdam.
I know what the hell.
Potsdam is
Yeah, I literally never heard that jail.
Potsdam. It's not a jail. It's a town. Potsdam and I forgot the university. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
But I'm talking like 30 minutes from the Canadian border.
Okay. Now I thought that was a prison. I'm about to say I literally never heard of that
It's
prison.
near Clinton.
Okay.
Clinton's like, I think, the top of the top you could get. But when my husband originally got transferred so he got arrested in Suffolk County. From Suffolk, and I have every single app you could think of. I'm like a #1 certified stalker of my husband. So I have VineLink, I have Docs, I have you name it, I have every notification. So I got a notification from VineLink that he had a warrant out for his arrest in Potsdam. So we tried to bail him out, and they caught him. They caught him in the midst of it. Like, if we were there maybe like a couple hours earlier, we would have got him out. But then he would have had a warrant and would have came and got him. But he got sent all the way up to Clinton. Then from Clinton, he was sent back down to Sing Sing. That's like a fucking like 10-hour drive. And then I finally hear from him like only through like letters that he sent his mom, and his mom sent to me because he could only send like one thing out. So he sent like 5 letters and like one thing. But I was only finding stuff out from him. And it's hard, like not knowing, like Katie's gone through it with me, like not knowing what your loved one is going through. Not knowing if your loved one is okay. Not knowing if your loved one is safe at that. Like, I was at work with Katie. Literally, like, my hands are shaking, and I have to take care of patients. I have to draw blood. How am I drawing blood and my hands are shaking?
Nah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why
It's
my
a real life
optimism,
experience.
because I'm so down to earth, even in there, I was down to earth with, like, that's why I'm, like, nonchalant. Like, I wasn't, I'm being my fake-hearted nigga. I wasn't going to bother her. I didn't bother my mom. I got couple outfits, couple spam. I didn't even reach the 35 pounds. Like, hell no. I'm not about to. It's food right here.
35-pound packages.
What's your favorite commissary item?
Favorite
You had to
commissary
pick one.
item. If I
Top
had
5. Let's do a top 5.
Top 5 commissary. Yeah, top 5 is good because you feel me. So I ain't gonna lie. Ice cream, even though I didn't have a fridge in my crib, like the ice cream one, every 2 weeks, the ice cream, that shit was everything. The cookies, it's like, mind you, the commissary is untaxed. So you go into the store, even though $75 for 2 weeks sounds ridiculous, it's not the same.
It does not last because, like, a pack of cookies, not to cut you off, a pack of cookies, I could go and get my husband, like, a 10-pack of cookies at the dollar store.
Can you send, I was going to ask you that, can you send him a prepackaged box?
They recently cut it off. I think since August, they cut it off. It has to be straight from vendors. Because what people would do is they would take, like, packs of, like, not like the tin can of tuna, but, like, the package, like, Starkist tuna, they would be shoving wild, like, dope in it and shit like that, and people caught up with it. And they're like, I guess that was part of the reason why, and they shut it off. So now it's a pain in the ass because it's similar to commissary now. I know the website I use is Emma's premium packages.
No, see,
but
right.
a pack of cookies I could go to the dollar store for is now, I could look it up, but it's probably like $6 for like Little Debbie brownies, like that little single pack. But I have to do it because that's the only way. Like, they have this organization thing where you could get like real food and like cereal and stuff. But my husband explains to me, like you said, like $75 for somebody to survive off of like not even 2 weeks is nothing in jail because it's so high up. Like I said, the $1 to $6.
Yeah.
It's a total difference. And you're getting like 6 packs of cookies. That's like half of your money that you just got sent to you. And when you send the money, if you send over $50, they charge you like a $6 fee. Yeah.
And
they
if
make
you
it
owe money,
almost.
if you got restitution and shit, you gotta pay that. But I was making it happen because you gotta. Me, it taught me budgeting, like, you feel me? Because now you gotta sit there.
You gotta realize what you need and what you don't need.
Yeah, you're filling out your commissary
clothes,
sheet.
or do you need to eat?
Exactly. And you can, but it's certain shit that's like necessity. Like I know I'm gonna need, so but everything is like, I guess, like affordable, but you got a limit, so you gotta budget it, and then you got a tobacco limit. So like, to make your transactions, like me, I'm a sneakerhead. You feel me? So like, I need bricks. Just because, like, if I see these sneakers, I got 4 bricks for those. You don't want those?
They hate seeing Jordans in jail, just the FYI.
Yeah, so
what are you allowed to, is he allowed to wear sweatpants and sweatshirts up there?
So, if I showed you pictures of me and my husband, everybody's like, oh, like, you see in, like, Orange is the New Black and, like, all these other shows. Like, people just in, like, the jumps, basically. Yeah, like, scrub looking. But that's not what it is. When you're up top or even in your medium, you get to wear sweaters. You get to wear polos.
So they make it more like you're in home, almost.
Basically, but you still got to wear the green pants. But you can have shoes under $80. The shoe's going to be under $80.
So you could get him sneakers from the Nike factory?
There are websites. So with Nike, it can't say Air on it. Don't know the reason why, but yeah. So if you have like Air Maxes, it can't have the bubble for some reason. I'm assuming like people think you're maybe shoving shit in the
Yeah, hell
bubble.
yeah.
Probably.
I don't know. I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah, it's
But
prison. They seen it all.
what I do is just recently, there's this woman in the package room where my husband is, and she's just a complete asshole. Like, doesn't allow certain shit. Like, she'll take the packaging and be like this. Like, bitch, you don't need to do that. Just fucking
this
push
is
it
coming
through.
home with me.
Like, is it really
Yeah.
Is it really killing you to do that? Like, it shit gets me tight because it's like, he's hungry. Just give him the pack of fucking cookies. I don't care if it has alcohol in the fucking chocolate. Just give it to him. So, I sent him a pair of boots. They're a really nice pair of Ugg winter boots. But what you do is somebody calls you and tells you to make a receipt. You make a receipt. So the boots I originally paid like $150, $160 for. So I made a fake receipt, and it said I paid $79.99 for them. It doesn't include tax if the tax is whatever amount, but I sent it in. The woman was on vacation. So my husband gets called down. They're like, you can't have them, blah, 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 because the sole in the shoe does not match the color of the shoe. This is how pathetic they're getting. What the fuck does the sole have to do with whatever? Like, my sole in my shoe could be blue, but my shoes are black, white, and red. What the fuck does that have to matter?
Nah, but that's
I guess
the thing.
it's just like messing with the shoe or whatever they want to call
Nah,
it.
it's like coding. Like the police wear blue, can't wear blue. It's
You
over.
can't have anything containing blue because I guess they think, all right, you're going to take all scraps from blue and make a fucking blue
And
uniform and try to
run.
get the fuck
Yeah.
out. I wish it was like that.
I'd love to do that.
But you can't have anything blue. You can't, like, they're so strict with the visiting, like, attire of what you wear. But it's depending on the facility. So, like, if I know, all right, like, White's working at Sing Sing on, like, Wednesdays, all right, I could wear, like, some jeggings. Like, he won't give a fuck. But, like, the next day, like, somebody would be like, oh, your daughter, my daughter was, like, 6 months old. She can't wear this dress without nothing underneath it. I get it because there are
Yeah.
pedophiles, and let me let you guys know, like, if you don't
Yeah.
know, like, if you're in for rape, like,
Are
you
they
will get-
allowed in the same visiting as you, though?
They are, which is fucked up, which
Ugh.
I kind of had something to say about that.
I
Because
feel
it's
like there should be
you-
different blocks.
Right, because you're incarcerated, I guess it just
It's like you're
defeats
giving
it.
them a fix.
Right. So I get it. Like, my daughter was little, but, like, still don't make a big deal. Like, it's not like she's, like, 1 and is, like, going to be bending down and shit. Like, my husband is super strict about that. And even, like, when he gets close with certain people, he'll be like, yo, like, look up this din real quick for me.
What are you in for?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'll go on docs and search it up. And for instance, there was a guy that he was talking to, and I looked it up, and it said rape, and he said, oh, nah. Like, immediately was like, nah, like, I'm not fucking with him because he's in for rape. But then I read the article, and I had to sit down and just, like, break it down to him because some 14, 15, 16-year-olds nowadays, they could pass for at least 25, depending on the makeup and shit like that. And I'm a female myself, but us females can sometimes be, like, shiesty a bit.
And say
You know what I
that's
mean?
not their
Say,
age.
like, I'm, like, 25, and I'm really, like, fucking 14.
Then when they get caught by their
and then
parents.
when they get caught, they're like, oh, my God, like.
He
they
raped me.
Or the parents force them to say, nah,
Yes.
we're going to the court tomorrow. We're pressing charges, yada, yada, yada. That was the case with this guy that he was cool with. And I was like, listen, I broke it down to him. I was like, listen, like, you need to know, like, 15, 16-year-olds nowadays, you know what I mean? Don't look their age. So you need to respect that. Like, it's not like he raped, like, a fucking, like, 5 or 6-year-old. We're not
Mhm.
talking like that. But, like.
Is the rumors true that when you are brought in for raping a child or something along those lines, do people jump them?
I wouldn't necessarily, like, they jump.
Yeah. Good assist.
I wouldn't necessarily, like, jump the gun on it. Like, they don't immediately, like, pop out on them. I feel like they would do kind of like the same situation, depending on if you have loved ones on the outside. Some people that are doing life,
Nah, hell
they're
no,
like,
that shit is
you're a rapist. You're gonna beat the fuck up. I'm in here for life, and I might kill you.
Exactly. So like they have
Nah,
I
nothing
that
might
to
shit,
kill
lose.
you.
yeah, it'd
They
be
have
like
nothing to
that. That
lose,
should be a setup. It'd be the fucking faggot ass
And
cops.
it'd be
I'm
the
telling
cops
you.
that'd be like, yo,
They know what's
Yeah.
up.
he's
You're
in
not.
for rape.
This
He's
guy's
in for rape.
Yeah, it's
They
over.
be
It's
doing
lit.
that.
It's
And the
lit.
cops
That's what's happening.
really,
You know, he's
the
in it for
cops
rape.
have
it's
a
over.
lot of pull though in the jail. Like, something happened with my husband, and my husband is not gang affiliated at all. He's mutual. Something happened with my husband, and it turned out it ended up being the cops. The cops paid somebody off to do some shit to my husband,
Yeah, I believe it.
which we're eventually suing for. But it just shows you, like, people that wear blue, you ain't better than nobody. You are not. You could go home like people that are assholes like my husband would be like, "Oh, that's why you don't get no pussy, bitch." Like because it's reality. Like you want to be a miserable person in here and you go home and you're still that miserable person. Like you want to bitch at me for having my curtain up so I could beat my dick. What, you expect me to not beat my dick? Like let me have some fucking privacy. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's where the shit get
It's the
wicked.
reality.
Yeah, this shit
Like
you
they
get
be
feel
getting
like
tight at little shit.
because of the situation you're in, you judge every single cop off of that situation. But because you do, I know you have officers in your family, so you obviously don't look at every single police officer.
I
with
don't
that
look at
lens.
everybody in that family.
Well,
so
we just call them police. They really correctional officers.
So
Yeah.
right, they're basically like certified babysitters.
Yeah.
They don't get paid well. Except I mean Suffolk gets paid decent, but like upstate, like they get paid garbage. They get paid less than what we get paid, for example. My dad is coincidentally a retired CO from Rikers. And just so happened my husband gets incarcerated and has been incarcerated for X amount of years. I want to say yes and no. Like every time I pass a cop, I'm like, oh fuck you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I do sometimes think like they're all the same. They're all together because if something happens to one of them, they're all backing each other up.
Do you use your father's PBA?
My dad doesn't even have a PBA.
That's what I'm saying. He's a CO, not a cop.
They get them.
Well,
COs
yeah,
get
but like
PBAs?
Yeah, I have them.
my
shit.
my cousins and everything, like a lot of my family members are like Nassau cops, Suffolk cops, like NYPD. I'm not very close to my dad's side of the family, and that's who are like cops. But a lot of people didn't respect, I guess, and not even respect like or like agree with like my situation. But like I said, at the end of the day, like just being incarcerated, that doesn't devalue you as a person.
Yeah.
And people need to normalize that. Like just because somebody's locked up doesn't mean they're a criminal, they're a piece of shit, they don't deserve nothing, they deserve to die. It's not like that.
And a lot of people I think don't realize that the world is becoming very progressive, and people that are in there right now, you could find out there's a man that's in there for wrong conviction, and there's people that are in there for fucking an ounce of weed.
So
they shouldn't even be in there. But it brings me to this because Injustice Brand, shout out to Kyrie Daniels and Kyrie Daniels Sr., I think the name is, but there's a lot of people that are in there for wrongful convictions.
I was telling you, I think we were on FaceTime like yesterday. And I was telling you, like, my husband, I'm not going to touch really a lot on his case, but he already did time for it, so fuck it. The fuck? So he basically hit a lick and got 2 pounds of weed. That's all it was, 2 pounds of weed. But the boy called the cops or whatever. But they found wild shit like buried around his house on a college campus. They hit my husband with 9 years.
For the guy, though. The guy had
the guy stuff. And the guy admitted to the drugs being his and everything. My husband got arrested. My husband is black, white, and Spanish. He got arrested in a full white town. Yeah. I'm white myself, but like it took me going through this to actually realize what it was. Yeah. He got hit with 9 years, and I think the kid got nothing. But like I was telling Katie the other day, my husband got 9 years for taking 2 pounds of weed from somebody. 2 pounds. Let me clarify that. But people who are breaking into the White House, a capital governmental building, are getting 1.5 to 3 fucking years. That is disgusting. And
they were assaulting police officers.
Exactly. So it's absolutely absurd. And like, I wish I could like fucking flip a table right now. But like, that's how like angry it gets me. It's like you have a white boy cooking crack in his fucking basement and he's getting 2 years. And my husband's getting 9 years. Why? Because he's black? That's fucked up. It's fucked up and it's still real. People think it's not a thing, like, but until you really, I feel like, not even educate yourself on it, but until you're personally in the situation, you're like, oh shit, this shit is really fucking real.
Nah, I ain't gonna front. We was talking about that. Like I was talking to Scoop on the other pod, Run After Rolling Pod, and I was telling him like it was different. It wasn't about prison. But I was telling him like us people, black people, we gotta like change certain ways. Me, I own businesses, I own companies. I'm building from the ground up. So like I walk around with my laptop like all the time. You feel me? So like I'm still me. I still got my hoodie. I'm still this. I got my laptop on, but like I'm really trying to do something positive where a lot of people, not just cops, not just people in authority, they just don't like. It's like in disbelief. But I can't be mad though, because it does give me that mad. But it's like in reality, it's only a small percentage of successful. It's only a few that's doing this. Like even in the jail, that's one thing that was fucked up. Where it's like, they do like prejudge us and shit, but it's like 9 times out of 10 they right. It's up to you to fucking speak or project or present yourself to like, I do this. The reading the book and all that, that's not nothing because a motherfucker read a book and then go cut. Like this is their job. Like this, damn, he was very intellectual.
Do you feel like I know it's hard, I'm sure, because I know a lot of law enforcement that are extremely good people. Yeah, Ben can say it. We have a lot of friends that are COs, and they're really good people. And I have a lot of people that I know that are cops that are amazing people. Like they would do anything for any of us. It doesn't matter your skin color or anything or what you've been through. They're just genuine people. But unfortunately, a lot of people aren't like that. So I feel like a bad light is put onto them, and they also have to realize that people that are in law enforcement are so quick to judge people that are incarcerated or in certain situations before looking them up and seeing like what they're in there for.
I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Me, I'm a unique individual, so like I got my own personal twist on like almost everything for me. So like I grew up in West Babylon. You know, I was born in Brooklyn and shit. So like upstate, yeah, because they're like.
Did you get credit for what you did, or because I don't know
What do
the
you mean?
circumstances of it, but like
Oh no, we could
in the
talk about.
jail, like when you went up top, basically, like did the COs like give you the side eye for what you did, or did you, you know what I mean?
Nah,
like how did you adapt to that? Like were you open about it, basically?
Did you feel more judgment from your hometown than you did from upstate?
Right.
Hell yeah, my shit was hell yeah. Still to this day, my shit was big. Yeah, I got more judgment from.
Did you lose a lot of people? A lot of people that you were close with that you thought you would never lose, or how did that work?
Nah, I'm a legend. I'm a living legend. So like, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing that was surprised. Well, I'll go into depth of what happened in one of my cases. Like, boom. So I used to be a dope boy. So there's a customer that had one customer in Nassau, but in that line, I wasn't like your typical, like just like I'm saying, I'm a unique individual. So like I really talk to these customers, these heroin addicts. I really like.
Sometimes they're not even really your customers. You become friends sometimes.
Yeah, this girl, like, word. God bless the dead, Ashley. That was my son for real.
Oh,
so we used to build on some other shit. Not like she was my girl, nothing. I'm just a nasty nigga.
But yeah, was cool.
But she wasn't like ugly or nothing like that. She's beautiful. God bless the dead. But we was cool. You feel me? She's a pull up in the Audi and shit. Life was cool. But her going to, yeah, like how she died. her, you feel me? Trying to get her life right. Her dad, like there's times where we're linking up. You feel me? Mind you, my daughter is just born fresh. Like I'm about to buy my daughter an iPad. Shout out to my BM again. Like, and mind you, my BM isn't like my wife. She's just like my life is just so unique, and she's just a part of it. It's just whatever. But my daughter had her first iPad before she was 1. You feel me? And I ain't. You feel me? And it was from Lisa. God bless her dead. Lisa just gave me an iPad to trade, whatever, however she gave it to me, and I gave it to my daughter. I didn't care. She lost it soon, whatever. But that's like the kind of relationship we had. You feel me? So when we'll be riding, her dad would call and the conversation to go through the speaker, and I like hear the pain in his voice because imagine your 24-year-old daughter being addicted to drugs. You know she's out getting drugs. You feel me?
Right.
Painful. You feel me? Down to the fact like even my drug program. I'm in drug program fighting cases. About to go into this shit to going to rehab to beat the case, and she's there going away for the 30 days just cause her dad is there, and they denying me like, nah, you gotta come back on Monday, and I'm dipping, and she texting me like, all right, you not going, I'm not going, like that's really my son. Anyway, she ended up getting a Vivitrol shot, you feel me, and she got to hit a dope too, like soon, like it didn't wear off enough, you feel me, she passed, you feel me.
So she overdosed, basically.
Yeah, she overdosed. Now, reality, that's my son, so I didn't even want to even give her, you feel me, a whole lot. She either took the little bit that I gave her,
or she took the whole thing,
or
she had something else,
right?
Or she was like, all right, this nigga is on some shit. He not gonna give me.
And she went to someone else.
It wasn't cut enough, and I'm gonna add some more shit.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck, however it played out, God bless the dead. So now, I get the text message next morning. Get to it. I'm not even going to detail, just like regular trap shit. Get to it. So I'm going to get to it, and as I'm going the regular scheduled program, the shit I've been doing for fucking forever. as I'm going to go do the shit, they fucking hop out Nassau. But I'm nonchalant. Like, I'm, as you see, like, bro, life is good. God, as long as God is here, everything is copacetic. I bitch and shit, but whatever. So I'm just like, all right, well.
Did somebody rat on you, or was there like?
There's no ratting. I'm gonna explain that.
Okay.
This is what you do if you decide to sell heroin. Somebody's gonna
that's
die
what
of
you need to know,
overdose,
right.
and you're gonna go to jail. However long, it's just a fact. If you think you're gonna fight it, try, and then you're gonna end up like
And
me.
being that you were close with her, obviously you felt a lot of remorse for the situation.
Did it hurt you? Are you cool with her family? Like,
No,
how is that?
that's what I was getting at to
No,
answer
but
the
he
question.
was cool with her. So.
Exactly. Me being the unique person I am, it's just stuff that me and her knows. Like, I'm in Seafield. Shout out to Seafield. I'm in drug program right now. Every time I be standing there, I get the chills because I look back at 2018 like, damn. I get like flashbacks to like me. I get like flashbacks to my daughter.
Do you think
It's
there
just
was
weird,
things
like,
you would have done differently to save her?
Nah,
or she was already.
I didn't do nothing in like her organization. Like it's just an unfortunate situation. But like it was not like, oh, it wasn't my.
Like,
nah.
I don't know if you're comfortable with talking about it, but I know a lot of men don't like crying. A lot of men don't like showing their emotions.
Nah, I cry a lot. I cried today. Cried this
That's
morning.
good shit. That's
So
good
do
shit. I
you-
respect it. But did you, when you, not even necessarily when you found out, but when you were actually sitting down and doing time for it, did you be like, oh shit,
Nah.
like, this really happened? Or like, how did it necessarily affect you mentally?
Mentally I'm a wreck, but it affects me because it made me like it affects me right now because it's like when I confidently say I'm different. I confidently say I'm a unique
You
individual.
grew from it.
Since
It
I came,
changed you.
when God made me, I mean this. I said this shit when I was interviewed. When God was designing me, He made me special. Like I know it's for a fact because now when I'm in the cool with the family, when I'm in the courtroom copping out to this shit, ain't nobody. My family ain't no baby mom. Ain't no not because they didn't come and support. This guy had a higher up. This is real life shit. This is how real this color thing goes. He has like a stat. Like he might be the Senate or something. Whatever. Shout out to him though. But they're like. My courtroom is not like there. Like when they look it up, like I'm going on the dance floor telling them like I got court tomorrow. My pop's looking it up and it's not coming up. So when I go in there the day I cop out and shit, I look back and there's mad people in black as a whole family. When I found, because it was a short time, when I finally make it home and I look at the post, oh my God, unfortunately, he couldn't get murdered. And it's like, damn, if my son Lisa could talk to y'all, she'd be like,
Yeah.
fuck y'all. Like my son is like, but nobody.
Like you didn't deserve.
No,
You would have never deserved that.
but that's why I'm not like an OD religious person. God knows that. That's why I'm not doing 25 years and I ain't telling nobody.
He knows
I ain't
that's
do.
not who you really are.
That's why. If you really want to get in depth, that's why I'm in this seat right now, doing what I love to do, potting. Like this is why I'm living my dreams. That's why life is awesome for me, and I wake up doing what I love to do because that's a different kind of angel. A person might be like, nah, but that's somebody that we talked about real estate with. I might cry right now talking about it. This is somebody I talked about real estate with. Like she died when she was supposed to go take a test. Like not like died going to take a test, but like her parents don't even know that I even know this. You feel me? So now when I got
you were
my
genuinely
feet.
close with her, not just like, all right,
I
here's
think
this
about
shit,
it every
right?
day.
Yeah.
Like to answer your question, like now that I got a foot in real estate, a tiny bit. Not like I'm buying homes. The people that really know me, I'm a property manager. But now that I really like involved in, hopefully in the next 10 years, I could really be doing this shit. And I really used to be sending, regardless of the relationship we had, drug dealer. We really used to be like, nah, go take that test, pass that. Like, yo, chill. You gotta stop and get right. Take that test.
Motivating
Like,
each other, just being genuine, like
talk about my daughter, like, yo,
friends,
that's
right.
awesome. And
Do
meanwhile,
you think that made you make the turn to want to become a drug counselor because of that affected
Yeah,
your
but-
life so much?
not just that, everything. Like now that I look back, but yes, that's a good question because even in Seafield, word of my mouth, obviously you see with me potting, like my voice, I could check, I talk like even in the drug program, I literally go to that shit to discipline myself so I could really be on time and so I could really become successful. Because just to throw a monkey wrench in there, like prison, you feel me, wasn't too bad of experience besides spending time away from my daughter because DOC stands for Department of Corrections. So one must wake up at a certain time. Like I went to jail for oversleeping. Like you gotta be up at 7:30. The CO was on my ass like nigga, I'm gonna let you slide.
on the count.
On the count, and I didn't do it, and I spent 20 days in the box.
You get a ticket, you get a ticket.
Like you feel me? But now, me personally, I ain't look at it as bitching because that box trip was like, yo, nah, I'm waking up. But now when I come home, it's like, oh, this is why you wake up on time. But once I do whatever I want, I'm my own boss. So it's like I'm teaching myself discipline where, bro, this how you watch. This is why you have to wake
Do
up
you feel
early
like
for school.
it built you up to give you a nice schedule?
Yes.
For life?
Yes. Hell yeah.
How
That's
are
what.
you personally? Because I've heard stories. How are you when you hear keys? How are you when you hear like certain slamming noises? Are
you
you
wanna hear-
okay with? I mean, I know you didn't do. You still did time, so I respect it.
Yeah,
but you
that's
didn't
funny.
do like
I mean,
a
I'm
lot
a
of
crackhead
time.
though. All right, look, word to my mother, I'm a full blown fiend. So like the keys things for me, like if I'm in my cube and I hear the keys coming, I'm not breaking the rules in the cube. Like I'm in the cube reading, listening to music. I'm
What
vibing.
if on the
Right, but-
outside you hear the keys now?
No,
Do
no,
you
no,
get
no,
a
no,
little-
Will you get like PTSD
Nah,
from it?
that's why I said I'm a fiend. I'm about to answer that question. The only time I was worried about the jingling of the keys is when I was in the bathroom doing drugs. Not just doing like smoking K2. That's when you hear the keys because if I get caught with this shit is. But like when I'm relaxing and I'm anywhere, I'm following we're in jail already. So if you're doing some shit, if you shaving the that's on you.
Okay.
Not
No,
the
it's
keys.
not. Nah. The shit, it's walking. So you're on the toilet. Let's paint the picture. You're on the toilet. You feel me?
You're boofing it,
You're not booping
or
it.
you're taking it out.
You about to get high. You in the you rolled up your spliff, mind you. It's paper. This is me. This is my aspect. I'm not talking about anybody else. Me, I'm on the paper plane. So like once it get hot, you smack it and it's good. So you got the easy way.
So you was actually smoking crack in there.
Nah, I was smoking K2, but it's like
So you
fuck
was
it.
smoking
Niggas
crack.
be off their
I
mind.
seen,
on that.
I seen motherfuckers put crack in the Bible paper, son. God forgive me. And this is my God honest truth. I seen niggas in the jail. This is not no prison shit. In the county jail, put crack and smoke crack. You feel me? But that's not my body. But I was up north listening to music. I mean, I used to smoke K2. I don't give a fuck. Judge me. You know what I'm saying? I could wear
Did
my
you
heart
have
on my
those
sleeve.
papers?
The paper planes?
The papers that like you spray with the oil.
Yeah, man. That's what
They
I'm
go
trying
for
to
like $400,
Yeah,
like a sheet.
My name is Juggathon James. Everywhere I go, I'm a jug. So now, word to my mother, I got reoccurring. Yo, I swear to God, now this is not cocky, this is confidence. Word to my mother, bro. Why niggas was calling like, yo, can you send this? Can you send this? Ask my father if I'm lying. I was sending myself $150 every 2 weeks reoccurring balance.
Just to get high.
No. From my money saved from my little bit of money saved from the streets with my
Okay.
pop. But now, instead of it's an ID, so let's make it break down. Instead of buying an eighth, I buy a zip because now if I buy a zip, by the time the zip is done, I made my money back. Motherfuckers want snacks and shit, trade. I'm a motherfucking hustler, baby. So yes, those shits go for motherfucking $400, and the nigga had to get it where he fit in. So I wasn't. That's what goes back to calling like, yo, I need money. Like, nah, nigga, long as Pops hold the assistance down and he's good financially anyway, yo, he need to hold baby mom down, send this and that. Everything is copacetic, you know what I'm saying?
How do you guys feel about the Brittany Griner situation? Because she was in Russia for 10 months and she just recently got out. I definitely want to touch on that to see different perspectives because your husband's in jail, you've been in prison.
I get it because
Do you think this is
jail
a rightful swap?
jail. I don't respectfully
it's
think it's a
politics, though.
rightful swap, but like he said, it's politics. My dad is in the Air Force currently. He's been in the Air Force since before I was born. But I get it. Brittany Griner, she's a WNBA player. Has a lot of, I guess, social media influence, all that good stuff. A lot of support from celebrities, and she so happened to get out, which I'm grateful for because nobody wants to be stuck in Russia at this time. However, there is a U.S. Marine, a U.S. veteran sitting in Russia. Still currently, but we freed a WNBA player. I could get backlash on it. I don't care, but my personal perspective, they let a guy go that killed however many Americans. He does like massive destructive things and like had plots to like bomb America or something crazy of that sort. I don't even remember the guy's
His name is
What
the
did you say?
Merchant of Death.
Right. So they swapped him for
Not a
Brittany
mercy.
Griner. But like I feel like we were talking about it, like I feel like it should have either been like a 20 for one for especially that guy, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
mean,
It's a really touchy subject.
yeah, but that's why I said I got straight to it, politics. But I actually agree. But to end your point, a negotiator is not really too bright. So, you know what I'm saying? But it is very
Right.
unfortunate.
Are
that,
you a Republican or a Democrat?
all right, so like,
Or you're a libertarian?
That's what I
nah,
am.
listen,
like,
I used to grow. Yeah, I'm
middle.
like in between. Cause listen, I grew up on heavy Democrat timing, but as I'm growing in, like, my mind is growing in a different tax bracket and really understanding America and really understanding that America is based on capitalism, and realizing like why, besides the race, why Republican, besides the racist shit, white supremacist shit, which I could obviously never go for, but why they think the way they think and why they look down on my people. Besides the obvious racist, like I hate you because you're black. The whole thing of the working, like Donald Trump saying "Make America Great Again" is not kick the fucking Spanish people out the country. That's not what he's saying. There's more Spanish people doing America. Like what the fuck? Why are Americans not doing America's job? It's just that simple.
Exactly.
Maybe he's
Why
Donald
we have
Trump.
to hire other people
Exactly.
than Americans to do our
That come
jobs.
from our country, because one thing that people don't know is fucking Spanish people are not fucking slaves, bro. These establishments are in El
They're
Salvador.
strong as fuck.
They're working
They're
there
built.
already. They're work. There's I got a shorty in El Salvador right now. I just FaceTime yesterday in El Salvador right now. She's from Brentwood. They have McDonald's and Burger Kings in these countries, so they already work there. So when they get the opportunity to come here and you can make 15
It's a
whole
new life,
dollars,
right.
it's like, bro, what? They're taking it serious. More serious than me. I'm not even gonna fucking point fingers. More serious than me, a person who was born in America, who knows I can go to McDonald's and work hard and potentially own this McDonald's one day. Why does somebody has to come from another country? Cool. Henry Ford, GM Motors, period. Made in Detroit. Look at what that. It was supposed to be made in Michigan. Look at Detroit. Look at what. That's our car capital. Look at, bro. That shit looks like a third world country. But I also know that Donald Trump is very kind of crazy, and so I don't agree with. So I don't really know. I say that to say this. I don't really know.
Do you feel
I
like
used to be a
the
Democrat.
presidents should have done more to help Flint?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, like with Donald Trump, I feel like if he could have got if he could have got a full 8, I feel like, unbeknownst to his attitude and shit like that, he would have got shit done because of his cause of what he's really trying to do for
Do
America.
you vote?
I didn't care about it. This time I'm voting. I didn't care about
Do you think you would
voting as
vote
much.
for Donald Trump if he ran again?
Yeah, definitely. Not
Can
because
I
of
clip this?
no.
I feel like this situation, if Donald Trump was still president, I didn't really want to touch on it because I'm not a huge fan of like you said, like some of the things he says. It's like, all right, like don't do that, don't say that, don't. Why are you president and you're tweeting? Don't do that. But I feel like if he was president, a lot of things that are happening now would not happen. Like
Definitely.
wrongful things, like the Brittany Griner situation.
It would've
Not
been
saying
worked
he
out.
wouldn't have freed her, but like I'm pretty certain like he's had face-to-face conversations with whoever from Russia. I don't even know the guys.
Putin.
Yes, he's
Putin.
had like conversations with him. So I feel like that would have been negotiated. But
And they know
also
his
then it
temperature.
backtracks on when Trump was president, this guy was still incarcerated. So why was that never brought up?
No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
But to say
Trump,
that he wasn't fighting that behind closed doors.
I
That's
feel
what I'm saying.
like
Because
He might not-
politicians play chess.
but peep
Nowadays
though,
with
At
Biden,
least they think they do.
Personally with
they do play
Biden,
chess.
with everything that happened, where was it? Afghanistan, where they were like blowing up the airports. Why are you putting on social media that we're having this many migrants come to the U.S. on this day and the plane's leaving at this time? You were never allowed to do that. My dad went to Iraq. I want to say when I was like 5, so like maybe like 2003 when they were at war. My dad went, and I remember my dad calling me, and obviously I'm young, so I don't understand it. I'm like, Dad, when are you coming home? And he's like, I can't tell you. So I banged it on him. I hung up on my dad. I hung up on my dad.
Dad.
But you can't say stuff like that over the phone, and then come to find out you put it on social media. Like, great, like you want to like say, listen, all these people are coming to the United States. They're going to be freed. Blah 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 blah. But you hurt them in the end because I'm pretty sure like one of the planes or one of the airports ended up being blown up. And I feel like that would have never happened with Trump. Don't quote me on it.
No, it wouldn't
But
have.
you know what I mean?
I'm standing on that. It wouldn't happen with
Yeah.
Trump because Trump, like as a president, you're repping America. So whether we like it or not, while he was president, he was standing on America. He was wearing America.
I'm not going to say too much about that subject just because there's a woman at home named Joni McCormick that might take me at the knees
Joni.
if I speak too much on the matter of Trump. But regardless, politics, there's a lot of fucking collusion involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shit that goes on that
Nah,
normal everyday
I'm not
people
gonna
aren't
lie.
gonna know
with,
about.
With the yeah, but that's all I'm about to say. To make it simple, of why I like Trump, or not even like I like Trump, is there's a blueprint for America, and I mean you gotta follow it. It's
Do
that
you
simple.
feel like as a black man you get judged for seeing his good sides?
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck because I didn't get into Donald Trump off of politics. I got into Donald Trump off the bag.
Mm-hmm. He's a good businessman.
Donk, you know what I'm saying? What? Listen.
Not you almost
Donker.
not you almost dropping your own shit.
Yeah.
Kwame Kane, Jugg. I don't give a fuck, bro.
Okay,
like,
D.
This we trying to, we trying to take this. Nah, the last name could be there. The first name is like wicked.
The last name's better than the first name.
Yeah, exactly. It's more ringing. People know that, and yo, it was posted on Instagram and all that anyway.
No, it wasn't.
We're not even gonna get into that. No free promo. No free promo. Coco, he's a bozo. Anyway, yo,
So, one quick question to get off the politics standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like people that are sent to prison, they should use it as rehabilitation? Because I know you touched on that the last time, and you felt like people will go in and then they'll come out and they'll do the same exact thing, and they're not using their time in there for the
I
right
think it depends on the
rehabilitation
time.
and the person.
Personally,
probably.
I feel like it depends on the person because it's like, okay, you caught a body, like you're doing life, like what the fuck, like you could have two different like mindsets.
You
could
can't
be
do
like,
anything
you
other
could be
than
like,
look
what the
yourself
fuck is
in
the
the
point
mirror.
of doing good? Like I'm about to go like shoot this nigga today. Like if you went to prison, like you could say like shoot
Not
like
you dropping that.
oh, sorry. But
Have to cut that out.
But like you could say like I'm gonna go shoot this person today, and if you went to prison, you would know what that means. That means like going to cut somebody.
Mhm.
I'll go shoot this person today, but then you have other people where it's like you're actually like a really fucking humble person, and you're like, okay, like I did catch a body, and I think about it every day, and I don't want these people to talk about it, or you know what I mean, but. I feel like it all depends on how much time you sit down for. I could be wrong for it because people could sit down for like 3 months and be like, okay, like I really need to change my life
I don't want to
around.
come back to this. Yeah.
But personally, I feel like my husband needed to sit down for the time he sat down for to realize, like I told him, I said, like nobody wants their significant other to be locked up. But I told him, I said, honestly, like you needed to sit down. You were being way too wild.
The
you
block
were being
was
way
hot.
too crazy. It
The
was
block
too
was
hot.
hot.
And you needed to sit down and just reevaluate yourself. Like, not saying he needed it, but he genuinely, like, personally did need it. And
Nah,
that's
but see,
something, that's something I will tell
I
him.
agree, but that's why I said it depends on the person because I ain't go who, you know. I got it. It changed. It was good, but
Was it
Yo.
enough time for you personally, do you think?
this is what I'm saying. In the last 5 years, from 2018 to now, I mean, like, I'm not even gonna go OD, but like, bruh, I'm a dad now. I experienced the whole point of this podcast. I went to prison and came back. Like that chapter is open and closed. Now I'm potting. I'm like, in 5 years, I mean, the sky is the limit, and I'm confident in what's gonna happen in this 6th year, 2023. I'm talking about like big mountain things like go on with my team here, like for real. And it's like, damn, once you decide what you want to do and you learn, you got to apply it. Unfortunately, when you're in there, obviously you can't rush to come out, but I feel like it becomes an idle time where now if you do long enough time, you're playing catch up where you got your mind sharp like I did. And I still did. I'm not perfect. I still got a case open, you feel me? But I feel like if you got 10 years out, and let's say you got locked up at 21, and you come home at 31, which is not old, it's like almost your prime, and you know you want to get your CDL, you had a plan, you even wrote it down, you read so much books, your self-help books, you're ready to go, but now you're just thrown in the wolves, and you're trying to play. Girls coming at you at 100 miles per hour, and you just fucking lose sight of the vision. You just, as opposed to if you did a little 3 years, you came home, you're like,
All right,
man,
that was
fuck
nothing.
that. Like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
that
saying?
didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little 50-50. Me?
It depends on the person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Me?
And I feel
ain't
like
need
your
to sit there.
background too, because like if you have kids or if you do have a wife or if
You'll
you
have
do
something you want to do good for.
right, exactly. I feel like that comes into play with my husband. Not saying he wouldn't. I feel like if I was in the picture or my daughter was in the picture, he would really take this time because, like I said, I know his full potential. I feel like he would change his life around, but I feel like he's doing better for the sake of myself, but most importantly, my daughter. Well, our daughter.
Yeah.
It really, honestly, it comes down to this simple shit. Everybody's everybody's a different individual. It comes down to if you want to be in the streets or not in the streets. It's that simple. Like the time, long, short, because like you said, people do time for real. Like niggas will get 25 and do the whole 25 and come home. Like you feel what I'm trying to say? It's up to you to figure like if I want to, whatever led to you having to fucking take somebody's life and then do the time.
Yeah.
Because like they say, you do the crime, you did the time. So you went through the whole shit. You fucking got to the argument. You fucking shot that person in the head. You got locked up for it. They got sentenced to 25. You came home. You still gonna be on some, I don't play that shit, man. Or you gonna be on some, man, fuck that. I'm
feel
going
like
to do this.
That comes
Yeah,
into
I'm
play
going
with,
to my
like,
garden.
Yeah, I'm going to my garden. Real life shit. I'm going to my garden. If you're on that time, then the sky's the limit. If you're still trying to, it's 25 whole years and you're still trying to prove, like right now, it's 2023. Let's say a person's in that situation, they got locked up. Damn. Let's say they got locked up in the late 90s or the early 2000s. And they coming home now and they're trying to rump with a kid that was born in the 2000s who's 23, who's really on some, you see what the world's going on. And then they think that they
It's a
could
totally
talk to
different
him
ball game.
like that. Yo, now you just being on your level of toughness, you might have to freaking protect yourself all over again. And now you're back.
Yeah.
I know my husband has had to show people how to use a tablet. When they came out with the tablets in jail, like my husband had to teach people how to use them
Yeah, that shit's
because
crazy.
they have like an 85 number. And that's before like myself or my husband was born. That's 10 years before my husband was born.
Are you guys fans of John Lennon?
Of course.
John Lennon's killer is still in jail.
He sure is.
Like still in jail. Like he's not ever coming home.
And I just read a thing the other day. It's so weird you bring that up. I just read a thing because my dad put me on to him and shit. So like we have a poster in our living room of him, and I just read a thing the other day of I want to say he's just like a journalist. Like he was a young guy at the time, maybe just coming into New York City, and he wrote like this long this long piece about meeting John Lennon for the first time, and he was he's older now, obviously the guy. Yeah. So he talks about how like spiritual it was seeing John Lennon in the street with Yoko. They were just like walking New York City and stuff, and literally hours after that he was shot.
Wow.
So he writes this big, it's almost like a love letter to John Lennon, the guy, but like just to who he was as a person. And in the beginning of it, it shows like how like amazing it was and how people fawned over them when they walked in the street and he didn't have a bodyguard. And it was a different time. It's whatever year it was. So like they didn't have that much security back then. So he's just walking free and how the people like fawned over them and how they were such nice people and all of a sudden, and then it turns into like a tragic love letter. And the guy changes his writing and he turns it into like a thing about how he was tragically killed. And it was like the best thing I've ever read in my whole entire life.
I'm going to read that because
it was really amazing. I was like, oh my God.
When I was talking to somebody, they were like, yo, being a rapper, like rapper got all this like people dying and stuff like that. And like, yo, if you're like, I feel like you as Jugg, like, none of that stuff, because I was being like, yo, I don't want to do shows and books. He's like, yo, I'm not going to lie. I feel like you as Jugg, like, you a free spirit. And, like, real celebrities, like, people love them. So, like, I'm going to read that article because, like, John Lennon was such a state, like, he was such a superstar. But even though it was different times, he was able to walk the streets. But, unfortunately, a freaking person who, whatever reason why he did that, took him out of his glow. Like, it was that easy. But it's like, it proves, like, I got to read that because it proves the point where I was like, it made me believe it, like, yo, I'm not trying to do no harm. Like, who's going to really try to, like, and if anything, I'm like, high security. Like, what the hell? But then at the same time, John Lennon got, this shit's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And he was a very, very, very loved person.
A very loved person. Speaking of loved people, recently, R.I.P. Twitch, Stephen Twitch, he unfortunately committed suicide. And that happened a couple days ago. And it's just, it brings you to a thing.
You know what's crazy about that? That's why I just said it. Because I was watching Ellen before, like, jail. But not like I was in the field, so I was watching Ellen back when I was younger.
Is the show.
The Talk.
That
now,
cut off now, but that was their shit.
That's what I say. Like, that's part. everybody that did a bid that's either up north or came home
They watch the
is
talk.
affected by Twitch. Like that shit is crazy. They watch the talk, but Twitch, like it's crazy that he passed away. Everybody, that's why you just said that. I'm like, well, I got it. Like I don't mean to cut it off, but it's like everybody that's wore my shoes, like even bro, like yeah, nah, like not on some. Oh my god, I'm sad. It's like we fucking with Ellen heavy. Like
Right.
we're fucking with the talk. We're fucking with these shows. And for Twitch, you know, obviously Ellen dances. You feel what I'm saying? That's how we got to see him. That's how we noticed him. It's like, damn, bro.
I actually saw a video.
So crazy.
I want to say it had to be like within the last couple weeks. And I was looking at a video. It was like him and his wife. Like no disrespect to the situation at all, but like in my head, I'm like, he doesn't look happy. In one of the videos, I wish like I could find the exact video that I saw, but I was like, he doesn't look happy. Like not saying I'm a fucking mind reader or anything.
Nah, see, I'm on that.
But
I'm on
you
that.
could sometimes tell. Like
So the details didn't come out yet. So obviously, us as normal people were fans of Twitch.
right.
People all around the world, unless you personally knew him and Allison, his wife, you're obviously, or his mother, or like his brothers
You're
and
an
sisters.
outsider kind of
You're an outsider, so
situation.
you're not going to know if he was bipolar or if he was dealing with mental things that people deal with. No
All
one
of
would
us
ever
do,
know
but
that. He's
that's-
only showing us his happy side.
You know how I
Right.
said that? You know how I said that I want to be a counselor? That's part of the reason because I'm good at therapy, like helping people go through shit, talk through shit, and it's like, exactly, you got other sides. We only seen the happy side
Especially
and
for black
mental
men in
issues.
America.
Right.
It's
I
over.
feel like through different generations of people, if you had mental illness and you were an African American, there was a shade put over it.
Right.
No one really dealt with those certain types of things, and they didn't want to show that they were vulnerable or they were going through certain situations because the world made them that way.
My husband recently, well, maybe within the last year, like told me he wanted to like be a therapist, and I kind of like laughed at him, which I kind of feel like a piece of shit now, like for laughing at him. But the reason why I laughed is because he doesn't even like really. He will open up. There are times where he'll like really open up to me, but like you don't really open up to me, so how are you allowing somebody else to open up to you? That's the reasoning why I was like, a therapist? Like, that's
Yeah.
what you want to do? But, like, I get it now, and I, like, obviously told him I'm sorry because it did hurt his feelings because he would never laugh at me for something I want to do. But my husband had two of his best friends 2 years back-to-back kill themselves. And I feel like that also took a toll on why he is locked up because he wasn't in the right mental state. And I feel like a lot of people, like the courts and the judges, like think of that as an excuse, but it's like a liable, like not even excuse. It's a liable, like mental thing that goes on because if my husband's best friend didn't jump in front of a train a month before he had a second incident, I don't think we would be in the situation we're in right now.
Yeah. And people don't realize how much, even if, like, for me, for instance, I'm such a happy person and I'm very humbling and I'm always making people laugh around me, but I have dark days.
Right.
And maybe some people that see me as this fun person or see Ben as this fun person and we're always laughing and we're always having a good time, they wouldn't expect us to have dark days.
Right.
Unless they really knew us and
because
they knew
you get
us
the
on the
certain
day-to-day.
perspective of somebody like Katie's always happy. Like I could never see that happening to her.
Exactly.
But in all reality, like Katie could be sitting in bed crying every night.
That's
Imagine.
why this situation with Twitch, it took the whole world by storm.
But like I said, I
I've
saw
been
a video and I was like,
investigating
he
this-
doesn't look happy.
I've been investigating this for days because
mean,
I'm
you know-
like,
yo,
how
you
could
know
this
what's
we need
crazy?
happen?
answers.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I'm like used to this shit because it didn't like it took the world by storm. It didn't take me. R.I.P. Benji, little man's in the hood that killed himself. R.I.P. E-Dot, 17-year-old drill rapper turned up. Why would he even do that? The kid he's 17 just killed himself. His 15-year-old friend just got stabbed on the platform. Like why would he even like realistically like why would you even want to die? Like you made it out. Your friends are ill rapping. Your rap stars like what the hell? Benji's smiling. I don't even know Benji on some high by see him type shit, but even that just blessed like I said blessing by storm, just like everybody in the community like what the hell, why do you
Yeah.
do that?
I feel
you
like
know
people
what I'm
with kids like kind of like hurts me more and makes me question it.
I mean,
So
like-
my cousin
a
was she
little
has a
bit more.
family. My cousin, she has a husband and like kids and stuff, and she was like, I love Twitch so much, and like I was such a big fan of his, but it makes me angry for his wife because why, when they just celebrated their 9-year anniversary of being married, why would they why would he do that selfishly and
I
take
feel
you
like
out
Now,
of
that
the
yo,
could,
equation?
I'm
my
not gonna
mom,
front.
my mom
I'm
said
gonna let
the
her
same
finish.
thing. She's like, it's selfish. But
Yo, I
like
didn't
me
wanna talk about
personally,
it.
from going through what I went through with my husband, with two of his best friends passing 2 years back to back. Well, a
Mhm.
year back to back, literally like not even like a month apart, like year to year. Um, I don't know it everything. I feel like I haven't personally been in this situation, but I feel like if you're at that point, like you're just gonna do it, and you just, in
But
a
That's
sense,
what
that's-
like
people
black
say.
out and
You
become
black out.
numb.
Yes.
That's I'm not gonna front, Kat. You did this. I ain't want to even touch it because I ain't want to be that guy. But with my studies of mental health, unfortunately, that is a fact. All you gotta do is just try to help before it gets to that point. But suicide is selfish. Not saying that don't deal with it.
Yeah.
That's why they have suicide hotlines and all that. So when you get to that point, you can call. Even if you feel like there's no one, there's someone. You feel what I'm trying to
Exactly.
say?
Like one of my husband's best friends passed. He shot himself. R.I.P. to Kari, but he shot himself in May of 2017, and his stepbrother. Like after Dakari passed, my husband became very close to his stepbrother, who was Rajon. Rajon then jumped in front of a train of August of 2018. So you know personally, what it was like to go through
As a family member.
a direct family member, to watch,
Yeah.
to go through a funeral, to go through like all the mourning of your stepbrother, well, your brother dying. So for you to do it to somebody, to do it all over again, a year back to back,
to the
that
same family.
to the same exact
Yeah,
family, it
that's why it's
fucks
like-
you up.
That's gotta be a
And you
blow.
have I believe she was like 1.5 or 2. You have like a 2-year-old daughter.
And their mother is
too.
alive?
No, that's the reason why I say selfish. Like, not like the people that do it are bad people. It's only
Yeah.
selfish because it puts more. So whatever you were going through that was unbearable, going out that way, unfortunately, just passes it to somebody.
I feel like it could
The trauma to the next person.
literally, and
right,
it's your
but
family.
I feel like it could come to the fact, like how I mentioned before, like, do you cry? Do you get emotional? Like, I could portray it as like, okay, like you maybe you were a gang member and you didn't want to be so emotional, and maybe that was your way of
A
just
different
saying
lifestyle.
that
Yeah.
was your way of just saying, listen, I was going through shit, I wasn't able to tell anybody, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
I'd
why.
rather
That's
deal
where
with
I
it
come in.
myself.
That's why I
Right.
correlate. That's why I correlate what we're talking about to drugs, because drugs in America cool, but drugs in the urban community is OD. Because like, bro, what if you fall into the cycle? Everything we're talking about, the mental health, and
Drugs
then
make
the
you
cycle
numb, completely
of.
numb.
You know what I'm
like,
saying? So
Until
now,
I
you're
mean,
not on
even
them.
though like sometimes
Exactly.
like
I gotta
sometimes I'll
still
like
with the-
smoke, and then it will be like I said, my husband has like till like 10:45 on the phone, but like I'll smoke and I'll get so numb, and I'll just, my husband calls me like a psycho for it, but like thinking of the shit like we went through in the past, I'll be like, I'm putting my phone on airplane mode. Like, I really don't want to talk to him because now I'm in my feelings. But I am numb, and like even if I answer, what am I gonna say? I'm just gonna argue with him because I'm in my bag and I'm thinking about shit he used to do to me. So it's like I don't really want to talk right now.
And it's different situations because there was another instance that happened a couple months
Bless you.
ago with a father at Disneyland. So he apparently, I didn't read too much into
Is
it,
this the
but
guy that had a heart attack or no?
no, he jumped off the Amtrak thing.
I didn't hear about this.
He killed himself at Disneyland, but then a note came out, like, I want to say a day later maybe. The note was publicized, and it was reading into his wife, saying all of these crazy things, saying basically how she didn't appreciate him, and like, it was a...
Like little things,
It
or
was
like
it was a hardcore
They got
suicide
into a
note.
fight,
They got into a
and
fight.
She made like some allegations, and then they came out later on, like he came out saying that they weren't true, but they were like some crazy allegations she made or whatever. And
so he went off of that.
he jumped off a bridge and killed himself.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
then-
like that had
and then
something to do with like my husband's friend
detailed
too.
the whole note in the thing saying like, hey, whatever does come out, I didn't do these things, and killed
He's a
himself.
principal too.
He's a principal.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But he did it at Disneyland, and they closed
with
down
his
the whole park.
kids.
He has 2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah, that's wicked.
No, how long ago was this?
Maybe a month ago?
Nah,
2 months
weeks
ago?
Really? I didn't see that. I'm gonna need to look it up because touching back on like my husband's friend passing, everybody had their perspectives of what happened because my husband's best friend's baby mother was there when he jumped in front of the train. Some people said that she pushed him. Some people said that he just went in front. I've been told many of
That's gotta be
stories, but
rough.
I was personally on the phone with her, and she was hysterically crying to me. My husband, like I said, gets the perspective of her from his best friend that passed.
Yeah.
So he gets the, oh, like, she told me to kill myself. She told me that my daughter isn't mine. She gets me this. But I get the perspective of, like, girl to girl. Like, hey, like,
She could have been
this
trying
is-
so hard to keep him on the right track.
exactly.
And all of
So,
these things.
but, like, one of the topics is that, like, she would always tell him, like, when they would argue, like, oh, like, your daughter's not yours. Like, so nobody really knows the true story to this day, but she was there when it happened, so she's the only one that knows what actually happened. And I'm actually, like, very, like, almost, like, best friends with her now, so no disrespect at all, but it's just a topic of discussion that we mention it and say, like, these are the perspectives that some people get. It's like, did the baby mother do it? Did he actually do it? Like, no one will ever know.
As a woman, she could have been fighting him off, and he could have pushed her to the fucking ground and dove in front of the train.
Exactly.
But we're never
Anything
gonna
could have
know.
happened, but, like, at the end of the day, it happened. It everybody's still mourning from it.
And regardless, she's probably seriously impacted by this situation.
And exactly, like, maybe she'll come out, like, 10 years later and be like, this exactly happened. She did tell me a story. I don't know if it's legit or whatever case may be. I want to think it's legit, but I don't know anything.
Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap this up here. I think this was a very good talk. We're gonna definitely get Jugg back on to tap into his 12-step program.
Yes, sir.
Even though he has a solo cup, but we're not gonna get into that.
Nah, what in there? Where
But
most of my cup
shout out to
goes
Twisted
out.
Flowers. By Your Side 365.
That's good.
I don't know the rest of it, if there's like a whole thing, but shout out to them. Shout out to At Will. Shout out to Vibes Inc. Shout out to BT. Shout out to Injustice.
Yeah.
Buy a shirt. Buy some merch.
Support.
Look up Kyrie Daniels. Do whatever you can for people that are incarcerated. Not every single one of them are pieces of shit.
And make sure you check on your people. at
And
all
check on your
times.
people. Mental health is fucking real, and it's alive, and
real.
men go through it too, not only women.
It only takes one message to be like, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything?
Reach out to your people. Tell them you love them because they need to hear it. Even if you think they're the strongest person in the room, text them that you love them because
Right.
it's such a real thing in 2022. So many people are going through mental health. There's a fucking insurgent. What is it with the money? I can't think of the word. But so many people are going through different things. I can't think of the word, but check on your people.
shit.
Tell them you love them. If you love them, text them. No.
Information.
Financial.
I'm not going to get into it because I can't think of the word, but it's going to come to me after I sign off. Thank you guys for coming.
course.
Please
Like
come
that.
back.
Boom.
Shout out to Love After Lockup. Give her a deal.
We still good though. We still recording.
Well, there's no more mic.
Oh. The hell? Someone must have kicked it.
I didn't move.
Someone must have pressed the button. Someone must have.
It's still on down there.
Someone must have either like tapped it or something. Something happened.
Well, the episode is?
Yeah.
Or is it?
I just signed up for